In this corner, boasting on-air, custom layouts, trimming, splitting, and direct upload to social platforms, it's web-based streaming OG, StreamYard! And in this corner, boasting dark mode, vertical streaming, pro scenes, studio mode, and web sources made by producers for producers, it's browser-based streaming new kid, EVMUX.
Let's get ready to
I've seen your comments, read your emails. I liked your DMs, all requesting a full comparison of these two, and I'm happy to share it's finally here. I'm Kirk Nugent, your live video coach, and on this channel, I give you the step-by-step guides and practical tutorials for the do-it-yourself video creator that learns visually. And today, get your popcorn out. StreamYard versus EVMUX.
I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on!
So here we are looking at the dashboard for both EVMUX and StreamYard, and I'm ready to dive into this thing, y'all. We're gonna start off by comparing, some of the things that happen before you get into the studio. So the fact that you have a studio link for each particular stream in StreamYard is cool, but some people don't like that. Some people want to have a link that stays the same all the time, which is the way that EVMUX does it. You create your session in EVMUX, and that gives you a link to that particular studio, and that studio can record and record and record, which means in that studio, even after you've gone offline, let's say for your post show, you have your guest still in the studio and you want to record that again. In order to do that in StreamYard, it requires some gymnastics. In fact, you might have to use third-party software.
That's a lot of work.
But with EVMUX, you can actually stream again or just record so that you have that content, that post-show conversation. Everybody knows post-show sometimes is better than the live. So that's something to consider, something that's different between the two of them right off the bat right here. Another thing to look at, of course, is the video library. So I'm going to go into the video library here in StreamYard. You can see I've got all the videos that I've either recorded or streamed there for me right there. Same thing for EVMUX. You have recordings. They don't call it library, but it's all there before you go into a studio. After you've done a live stream and different things, you have them here available to you. Same for StreamYard. And if you go into one of them, as I'm going to go into right now, you can see you have the ability to download each individual video. This happens to be one broadcast here for EVMUX that we're looking at, whereas this is also one here for StreamYard that we're also looking at. And you can download each individual video that was added to the studio at the time, and you get basically local recordings, but also ISO. Right, we talked about this for StreamYard, same for EVMUX. Local recording basically gives you ISO, complete clean feed of your videos, not the way that it was streamed, the way that it looked to the person who entered the studio. That is the way that it is recorded locally and then uploaded after the fact. Dope feature. What StreamYard has done, however, points for StreamYard here, is that they've given us the ability to split and trim. Now let's see it. Now hold on. Now let's go in. I'm going to go into the features here, and you can see right here I have the ability to trim in EVMUX as well. However, it is a little weird. I have to tell you, I'm not certain what I'm seeing here. I'm going to make it bigger. I'm not certain what I'm seeing here in terms of the trimming feature, but the trimming feature does work. It is here, it exists, and it is something that we can definitely utilize from EVMUX. On the flip side, of course, you do have the ability to trim, edit, repurpose, and you can actually export to Adobe Premiere, Final Cut, and DaVinci Resolve. You can actually have the XML file and it drops it right in the timeline in your NLE just the way that it was recorded, so you don't have to try and sync up video and audio. That's pretty dope from StreamYard. Kudos to them for that. And then you can actually take a recording, edit, repurpose, and you can upload it to YouTube as an actual video. You can upload it as a vertical reels or to shorts, to TikTok, wherever you would want that to go. You can see those icons here on the bottom. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that while this does this, it is not true 9:16 from StreamYard. So it's like points in their favor, but there's a couple of little dings there as well. So those are some of the things that we wanted to touch on before we go into the studio. Let's close these out. And as we do that, you're seeing that I'm getting ready to go into the studio on both platforms, right? So you've got EVMUX here and you've got StreamYard over here. One of the things that StreamYard has done is they've enabled the ability to have your name. You can do your name with 2 levels. You can actually put in a subtitle or maybe your company name or a hashtag or maybe even a website. You can do that with your display name right here if it's enabled for the studio. It's not enabled for mine right now, but I'll show it to you when we get inside. That is not a function or feature here in EVMUX, but EVMUX, the way that you do your guests in EVMUX is completely different. You add them as speakers. I'm showing you that here now. And each speaker has their own profile that you can pre-create for them, and that profile feeds into what their lower third looks like. So while you don't necessarily have the feature in the same way, you have a far more robust lower third from EVMUX than you do from StreamYard. Keep that in mind. We're gonna go ahead and click on the settings icon, which opens it up here. We have the ability to select your resolution, very much the same. StreamYard does have the ability, or it has this new feature called touch-up appearance. I have not seen much of a difference, but then again, I'm using pro cameras. You don't have that same touch-up appearance ability from EVMUX, but you want to put a point in the column for StreamYard for that one. That's totally up to you. I hope you guys are keeping count, and I hope you stay with us to the end when I share with you who I think is the winner. So we also have audio, right? Let's go look at audio. Features are very similar between the two. Echo cancellation. We have background noise. We have background noise here, background noise here. You have high resolution audio. Stereo audio is essentially high resolution audio for StreamYard. Then they also have, that is EVMUX has the additional option of stereo audio input, essentially to deactivate echo cancellation and noise suppression. This is basically your fully treated room, everything, and you want that audio to go straight into your live stream. That's the feature that you would select. So you do have some fairly robust audio functionality from both platforms that we're able to see here. Hotkeys, let's go to hotkeys next. We've gone over hotkeys on both of these platforms before. They're both there. This is a neutral point. They kind of cancel out. We're not going to really go much further. Let's look at virtual background. Again, you have virtual background here. Both have done significant work in this area. You can stream with the blur if that's your thing. It's not my thing. You can do the background if that's your thing. That's not my thing, but it is there and you can see how they look. I'm going to go back to none here. Have mercy. You can see how they look, and you can also see that it does not necessarily require a green screen. Now, it would be better if you had a green screen, but it doesn't necessarily require a green screen. And it does come with some stock virtual backgrounds loaded in the system, so you can actually, select from those, or you can add one yourself by simply hitting the plus sign. So features very similar, and it looks like they've essentially kept it the same. Here we've got advanced settings, and there's a couple of things here that that you can adjust in EVMUX, and again under general you have some other things here that you can adjust in StreamYard. Some of them are actually very similar, so keep those in mind in terms of what you want to do for either one of these platforms. Let's close out this screen and let's actually enter the studio, both of these systems. So now I'm in the studio, and I know this is squeezed in look because I'm trying to show both of them on the screen at the same time. But I wanted to kind of go through some of the things that I think are just given. These are matched very well. So we're going to stay in dynamic scenes in EVMUX, and we're just going to take a look at some of the things here from StreamYard. We all know you can do overlays, right? We can do overlays. We can do overlays. I can do an overlay here. I can do overlays here, right? No, nothing too special about that. Both of them have that. You can play music. All right, so we have down here at the bottom, we have background music here in StreamYard. I can play music, and if you want to, you can upload sound effects to this background music section. Very cool. And StreamYard does have the ability, or has given us the ability, to fade tracks in and out. You can see that option there. And then you can also loop those tracks by these options that are here. For EVMUX, however, you have the ability to, you actually have them split. So you have sound effects in this section, and then you have music in this section. You can actually turn it into a playlist mode. EVMUX, I don't know. You kind of, you're doing your thing. You got a playlist here that you can kind of go through. If you select that, then it'll just kind of play all of them. But you have the ability to loop them. You can see that loop option there. And if you edit them, you can actually select and have the volume bar. You can individually adjust the audio on all of your sound effects just to have that, enter the stream the way that you want it. So you have a really granular level of control over what this looks like. Whereas StreamYard, there's one slider and it does control anything that you're bringing into the stream as what they call background music, even if you're using it as a sound effect. So keep that in mind as well. Another thing to keep in mind, of course, is that you can play videos. So I'm going to go back to video clips. So here we have video clips in EVMUX. You can upload them in. We have backgrounds here as well. And you have video clips here in StreamYard, and you can upload those in. The requirements for videos in StreamYard is 1280 by 720. Max file size is 200 meg, and they cannot be longer than 10 minutes. And they do prefer MP4. To upload your video clips in EVMUX, you have 1920 by 1080. The file size is 2 gig, and the formats are MP4 and WebM. And I don't know, I have not seen a limit in terms of length, right? 10-minute length, nothing like that. I've not seen a limit in terms of length. As long as it's under 2 gigs, you can upload it into the studio in EVMUX, play that video into your live stream. So keep that in mind as well. Some pretty cool things that we're discovering and uncovering in this comparison between StreamYard and EVMUX. Lastly, we do have comments, banners, and layouts. So comments are here. We can put comments on screen. Same for StreamYard. We can put comments on screen, and your comments are controlled by the theme in StreamYard, whereas in EVMUX, you do have a lot more robust opportunity to edit and adjust your comments by the way you have selected your scenes. So if we go to the brand tab here, you have the different styles for your comments, but you can actually do custom. You have the ability to do custom here, and then you can actually select where those comments come up, either on the left or the middle or the right, or you can have your lower thirds. You can actually edit those as well. So you have a lot more granular functionality in EVMUX. And again, for some people that may be good, this is a critical point. For some people that may be too much, this is also a critical point. So keep that in mind, and you can let me know in the comments, which one are you? Which one are you? But yeah, that's if we go to the brand tab. So you got comments, you have banners, and we have layouts. So now if we go to the screen itself, right, I'm gonna just go back to layers. I have all of my different layouts here, and some of them are custom layouts for StreamYard. And then you also have these layouts here for EVMUX. The layouts are fairly similar though, especially for dynamic scenes. When you compare dynamic scenes in EVMUX to the standard default layouts in StreamYard, they are very similar. Yeah, there may be one or two that are kind of cool that you can use here in EVMUX, but they're basically, standard in terms of this is the design of it, kind of allows for several different cameras to be on screen. That's something to really kind of think through. So I really wouldn't count a point in either corner on that one. The layouts are there. We're coming to something that will be directly in the EVMUX corner, but you guys already know what that is. The next one is local video playback. Local video playback. You can actually play videos from your computer, right? You can actually upload a video. Let's see how we can do this now, right? So I know this is, there we go. So this icon here, share screen, of course you can share screen on both of them, but this one, share video, you would simply come here, click that. It's going to bring up my computer, and I can select a video and it will play it from my local computer into EVMUX. So that's, you know, again, something to consider, something to think about, but nothing different here. You hit present here, you can actually do a local video file in StreamYard, same kind of concept. It will play it from your computer into the stream. You can control it, you can stop, start, you can scrub back and forward, you can adjust the audio on both of them. So we do have that for both, and that is essentially, you know, kind of neutral. They cancel one another out. One thing I do want to say, however, is that EVMUX does have dark mode built in. Dark mode built in. So I'm just clicking on this guy right here, dark mode. So that's what light mode looks like, and that is too bright, and that's what dark mode looks like, and that's what mine always stays on, because I think that dark mode should just be a thing.
I agree with him.
I don't know why that isn't there for every streaming platform, but dark mode should just be something that we just have from all the streaming platforms. So dark mode, definitely a bonus for me in the EVMUX column, right? We talked about hotkeys already. We talked about isolated video from recording. So, you know, if you go here to record in EVMUX, and of course, same thing for recording here in StreamYard, you will have the ability to select local recording, and that gives you local record and gives you the ISO feature. Same for StreamYard. If you come here to recording, you can select record locally for each participant, and that gives you that ISO feature. So those are kind of canceling out. However, maybe some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. Here in StreamYard, in order for me to do a 9:16 video, I have to create a custom layout, which I have. And if I select that custom layout, you'll see that this is me in vertical in StreamYard. But unfortunately, if I was to stream like this, if I was to record like this, I would have to go in afterwards from that recording and chop off the sides. This is not native 9:16. Whereas in EVMUX, right here on the bottom, right here on the main screen, you have landscape mode and portrait mode. And when I click on portrait mode, it immediately changes to 9:16. And when this scene is set like this, in the dynamic scene, by the way, we haven't gone to pro scenes, you have the ability to stream like this without the sides to whatever destinations would take 9:16 streaming. So that's a big point scored in the battle between StreamYard and EVMUX. I think this is something that StreamYard is absolutely going to have to do soon. I don't see them continuing to make this work without 9:16 is a standard. So everyone is looking for this. Several other streaming platforms, not just EVMUX. In fact, I want to say all the streaming platforms, with the exception of StreamYard, now allow you to stream in vertical. I would imagine that they're going to have to, you know, write that really soon for all my StreamYarders out there. So that's a big one. Next thing that I want to share here, we're going to go back to regular mode, is multi-camera. Now in StreamYard, you can add an extra camera just by going to the present sign here, and you have extra camera. You can see that there, boom, extra camera. We click that, it's gonna ask me what's the other camera that you want. So I have my Blackmagic here. I could add that in, I'm not going to, but you can see I can add in one extra camera. When you add in one extra camera, that feature is done, and you have to do a hack to bring in additional cameras, or bring in something like the A10 Mini that allows for multiple cameras coming in as one. Whereas on the EVMUX side, you do have the ability to bring in more than one camera. Down here on the bottom, add camera. When you click on add camera, you can see here, right, that it says camera 2 because camera 1 is already added, but you have the ability to add an additional camera. So you can have 3 cameras in StreamYard that are connected to your computer. If you have a webcam like I do behind me, if you have a 2 cameras connected to the computer, let's say through 2 different capture cards, or one through a capture card and other through like something like a switcher, like an A10 Mini, you can add all of those cameras to your live show with EVMUX, and you can actually switch between them dynamically, which is, in my opinion, a huge value add. Being able to add 1 additional camera in StreamYard is dope, but being able to add one more, just one more, like to be able to add 3, I think it's not pushing the limits of the browser-based streaming. I think it allows for people to have a little bit more dynamic setup. You might want to have a straight-on shot, a top-down shot, and a behind-the-scenes shot. That's a standard 3-camera shoot, where and we're not even talking about multiple people on screen. So having that ability would be really dope, and I think that is a point scored for EVMUX. If it is something that you use, keep that in mind. We'll keep coming back to that over and over and over again. Lastly, we want to talk about custom layouts. Now, I touched on that slightly with StreamYard. You do have the ability now to create your own custom layouts, and I got to tell you, I love it. I have used it multiple times over. There's so many different ways that you can utilize custom layouts. I mean, it's just amazing to see the ways that you can actually, customize this and make it your own, bringing in media slots and different things. It's a very StreamYard way of giving us, taking the training wheels off. And I have a video that's almost by the same name, and allowing people to really have some creative design freedom over how they are streaming and how they're presenting what they want to present to their audience. So that's been pretty dope. I actually like that. But right out the gate, day uno from EVMUX, we have been given pro scenes. I'm going to change over to a different studio. And again, this is a whole nother feature that I absolutely love from EVMUX, is that I can change from one studio to a next right in the browser. And in those studios, you have different assets, different things designed already, ready to go. So in my in this particular studio, I have a web sources scene, pro scene already set up and designed. So we're gonna pull this out here to showcase what all is on screen. And right now you're seeing right here the Buy Me a Coffee logo, which is a web source, right? So if somebody were to actually go to my support page, buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent right now and buy me one. Now it would have to be while I'm recording. It would actually show up on screen. It would have an animation that would show somebody, so-and-so bought a coffee and whatever message that they had to say. Similarly, I have this other web source from another website here, and again, they're displaying on the screen. You see this one is called the giveaway wheel. This one is the booking. I'm gonna unhide that, and then you have the BMAC one here. So this booking one is just from my Calendly page, and again, it's just comes in as a web source. You can just bring those things in, and I can hide them again. This one is from the support page. There's many different options that are here. I'm going to go to another. There's a goal bar on the bottom. There's a tic-tac-toe game. I was just literally playing with different web sources. The beauty of Pro Scenes isn't just web sources. The beauty of Pro Scenes is that you have a fully customizable scenes that you can design here and still be able to go back to your dynamic scene and have all that functionality that you're used to from platforms like StreamYard and others. But you have the ability to go to these pro scenes where things are designed, they're already set up, they're already ready to go. You don't have to bring an overlay on and do all these different things. The pro scenes are already set up and ready to go. You can play a video in a pro scene and have it go directly to another scene. And if you want to know how to do some of those things, be sure to check out the playlist that I have at the end of the video here But these are some of the things, in my opinion, pound for pound, that really takes EVMUX out of the tier 2 category and puts it in a category all of its own. But for the most part, many people have zero use for the functionality that has been added by EVMUX. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Let's get into it. That was a lot of fun. And I know you guys are waiting for me to crown a winner. We've gone a full 12 rounds and it's clear StreamYard landed some punches with its clean interface, rock solid stability, and practical repurposing features. Let's hear it for StreamYard now. Come on, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Now hold on. However, y'all need to wait a minute now. EVMUX had them on the ropes with native vertical streaming, no hacks needed, full customization with pro scenes, and they opened up a whole new world with web sources in a web-based streaming platform. Yo, depending on who you are, what you use, and the experience you want for your live show, the winner has to be clear. But for me, that's the actual answer. It depends. I use both regularly for clients who have varying needs, and for my own live shows and YouTube videos, I don't use either. Did somebody say eCam? The unpopular answer is these are all tools to be used by creators like you and me to get our message out to those who need it most. I know it's coming, so go ahead and sound off in the comments. Also, let me know who you want to see go round for round next. Restream? eCam? Learn everything you ever wanted to know about both of these platforms, StreamYard and EVMUX, in these two playlists.